Hey Internet, it's Jesse at Ish Guitars. We have a special guest here today. This is a Paul Reed Smith private stock Graveyard II. This is a limited run that they did, what was it, a year ago maybe? That was an ultra limited run that was just mind-blowing. These things sold out so fast, and we had the opportunity to acquire one used, and definitely made that happen. These guitars are absolutely gorgeous. This was the brainchild of Paul Miles, the private stock director. Paul's a good friend of mine and one of my favorite guys in the industry. Really creative, amazing luthier who's, of course, trained under Paul Reed Smith for a long time, runs all that production there. He's the one that we really collaborate with a lot of our personal builds on, and he's been a great friend and mentor to me in the guitar building kind of land. So this is a really neat guitar. To see his brain really kind of let loose on an instrument, because usually he's only helping maybe like with a color idea or an inlay idea, and this is the whole thing at once. Of course, the big part about this guitar is this ridiculous inlay. So cool. So what Paul actually did, it's an amazing design, is this fretboard is kind of like the birds of a feather fretboard, if you're familiar with it at all, where the birds kind of break up. You'll see them in private stocks a good amount. And so what they do is they start with, this is actually an ebony fretboard, and then this flame maple is inlaid into the maple the ebony fretboard, I'm sorry, and it's all cut out in here. And what ends up happening is then you end up left with ebony down here, flame maple up top. Now there's also a little bit of purfling in here too, and this purfling ends up actually outlining this bird, but they leave kind of some negative space here. It's really an absolutely stunning design. Of course, he carried the purfling all the way through the headstock also too, with that crazy cool raven on the headstock too. So this is called Raven's Heart finish also too, which I don't know if it will translate on camera there, but is absolutely one of my favorite colors I've seen on a private stock in a while. Once again, Paul really knows his stuff about color, Smith and Miles, and this is no joke. It's this really bright red in person, just very vibrant. Into some cool purples here, and the nice black on the edge is just badass looking. Of course, they match the neck too. Very cool with that fade. Solid flame maple one-piece neck, as Paul Smith likes to use. And then another pretty neat part, this is kind of an aging process. Well, it's not really a process. It's done with stain, but the idea is to make this kind of look like dead, aged barnwood. So it's kind of messed up looking. You see some of these funky, this is actually grain in the swamp ash here. That's a natural occurrence that's in that swamp ash. But this was also Paul Miles' idea here, and just really ties together with all the kind of evil looking nature of the guitar. But I love that it's evil looking in a classy way. That's Paul Miles in a box right there. You heard it from me. So a lot of people don't know that on the back of these guitars, there's two signatures on the headstock of every private stock. You have Paul Reed Smith, of course, very obvious whose that is. There's another little one right there. That's Paul Miles. Paul Smith trusts Paul Miles to really be the deciding factor in a private stock. And at the factory, I've seen Paul Smith say to Paul Miles, if this is how you think it should go, then that's how we're going to do it. He trusts him that much. It's really cool to see, and that's why Paul Miles' signature is on that guitar. Not just this one, but all private stocks that come out. Pretty neat little fact. So that's the guitar. We're actually not going to play it today because we want to keep it absolutely mint for the next collector. It's probably going to sell really quick. There really haven't been very many of these on the market used, and like I said, they sold out immediately when they first came out. They were gone fast. So keep your eyes out. We're going to have more videos. We got a lot of cool new stuff coming on, crazy things like this coming in all the time. Like, subscribe, share. See ya.